Oh, I saw your question on the discussion board. I might work out the first part here, solve for x, and maybe that'll help you figure out part y or z, or somebody else could post the answers to y or z. But here's your system equations, and the first thing you got to do is create two 3x3 determinants. So we're solving for x here. And so the bottom determinant, these columns here, are just the coefficients of x, y, and z. So you have like a negative 2, 2, and 2. These coefficients of x, and your coefficients of y, negative 1, negative 3, and nothing's here, so that's the 0. Then your coefficients of z, negative 3, 1, negative 3. That's what's here. Now the numerator, since you're solving for x, this first column, I'll call it the x column. In the x column, if you're solving for x, you put the constants, 3, negative 13, negative 11. If you're solving for y, you'd put these constants in the middle column. And if you're solving for z, they'd be on the last column. Now, since we're solving for x, we put them in the first column, and the other two columns have to match to the denominator. So that's how you set up the quotient determinants. Now you want to evaluate these two determinants. I did offer a video alternate way of doing this. I put it on the announcements, and also I put it in the discussion boards. But I'm doing it the traditional way that's showing on MyLabs Plus, but I did offer an alternate way to evaluate these determinants. I always just use the top row of numbers. So I copy down to 3, negative 1, and 3, 3, negative 3, and then you always change the sign of the middle one. So I copy down top row 3, make that a positive and a negative 3. Down here it'd be negative 2, a positive 1, and a negative 3. Again, I change the sign of the middle one. And then come back here, I have this 3, it's in the first column, in the top row, and you're left with these four numbers. That's what goes in the 2x2 term. This negative 1, you'd be top row and middle column, you'd be left with these two numbers and these two, which is what you find here. And the last column here in the top row, you'd be left with these four numbers, which you find here. Similarly, you see the same thing happened here. So now I come down this next line, and I have the 3, the 1, and the negative 3 you can see here. Then you multiply it. Well, you multiply it. Well, you take this diagonal minus this diagonal. Well, two negatives be a positive 9 minus 0. This would be positive 39 minus a negative 11. Two minuses actually make a plus. This would be 0 minus two negatives. They actually have three negatives, minus 33. This would be negative 3. If I write that out, it would be minus a negative 3 times a negative 11. I'm looking at this diagonal here. It's this diagonal minus this one. So I'd have 0, it's supposed to be a 0, minus this, and this comes out to minus 33. Do the same thing with the denominator. I have that. So then I multiply, I get 27 plus 50 over plus 99. Multiply the denominator, and they give me 176 over negative 144. So the x value is negative 4. Very similarly, you could solve for y and z. Hope this helps.